Cultural translator was the chosen name for this thesis. This is an object that merges art and architecture. It works as art, but it is experienced as architecture. Could be both art and architecture. The innovation lies in the uniqueness of this object that can act as a transcultural mediator, a path from one culture to another. Understanding the context of globalization in which we live in and the subsequent effect on localism, there seems that the need for a transitional medium emerges. Such a medium can be adapted to the necessities of neo-nomad society in a way satisfies the greatest number of circumstances or cultural differences. Modern people are mobile as they relocate themselves around the planet. They carry certain cultural signatures that either they bring with them or they expect to find to help them in the transition. In order to bridge that gap, the transcultural translator relies in certain facts. First, every culture has developed through the years some kind of visual patterns, usually expressed through ornamentations. Neo-nomads are in a constant change of cultural localities as they move from one place to another for extensive periods of time. The proposed transition cultural machine has the purpose of creating small settings where people can feel like home, through a habitat that can produce the visual motifs and patterns that are appropriate for each cultural background. People feel closer to home, and that fact has a positive effect in their psychology. The design technique is based in a creation of an environment that mimics the cultural homey feelings that everybody carries within. And that means that these familiar patterns make people feel better, especially when they go in, where the feeling of home is stronger. A fixed frame to project stability and security consisted by transformable smaller frames that adapt to every person's pattern preference. The first step of the process was to conduct an anthropological analysis in order to identify the culturally distinctive patterns and relate them with the different cultures. Cultural notion of shifting from culture to culture visually. The notion of transcultural medium is the main thing that this project contributes to the theoretical framework of the social spatial discipline. Cultural notion of shifting from culture to culture visually. The notion of transcultural medium is the main thing that this project contributes to the theoretical framework of the social spatial discipline. A technique of how the transformation of pattern can be achieved was developed. It addresses design issues, construction techniques, and fabrication methods. So, in a sense, every stage was planned. Under this extensive study, the project reached a level of maturity that can guesstimate with a high confidence the materialization process and the possible variation of it, as well as the viability of the operation plan.